Now we come to one of my most favourite parts, cutting the fabric off the loom. Now I've already released the tension a little bit so that it's not all tight, it's not going to shoot off the loom or anything like that. And you can simply come behind the heddle here, go in front if you want to. It depends on whether you want a fringe or not, but I think it's probably just a good habit to do it behind the heddle so that if you do have a fringe you've always got enough. Just like so. Come back to the front of the loom and we can just let that come over like that. Now we can just release the front break here completely and your fabric will, when you pull it towards you, it will just roll off and the warp separators will drop out as you roll. And then we're back to where we started when we tied onto the front rod. Pull out all the warp separators, you don't need them anymore. And then we can start to undo our surgeon's knots here. Remember the header that we wove in at the start? We're just going to pull that out now, so just find a loose end. So my header was white, that was my contrasting yarn, my waste yarn. And just start gently to pull it out. Don't yank it too hard or you might distort your weaving at that end. It comes out fairly easily, but you just need to do one row at a time. Okay, we're nearly there. And the last bit of that should be just here. Yep. Let's pull that last bit through. And then you can just keep that bit of yarn for another time. There's plenty of instances in weaving where you use a little bit of waste yarn, whether it's for ties or for weaving. And now, this is where you get to lay your cloth out and have a look at what it really looks like for the first time off the loom. Now we're going to wet finish the woven piece, but before we do that we need to secure the ends or they'll start to unravel in the washing process. So if you've got a serger or an overlocker, just run a line along the edge where your weaving meets the fringe. If you don't have an overlocker, you can use a sewing machine, and set it to zigzag stitch, and do the same thing so where the weaving meets the fringe. Remember that none of this is going to actually show. It's purely to secure those ends there, and then you can cut off the excess fringe. So now both ends are ready to be wet finished.